Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return for round 12 of the F223 Ollie Bearman career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend out here once more in the Monaco GP. This time round for the feature race. Of course, if you missed the sprint race that went live yesterday, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But today, we have got a big opportunity to try and take the lead of the championship. 8 points back behind Brad Benavides in a much better starting position, ready for this race. But it is Monaco. Anything can happen. Can we keep it clean and tidy and take the championship lead? Quickly, before we get into that though, I just wanted to remind you guys, if you're planning on making any sim racing purchases over this holiday season, it would be greatly appreciated if you would use my links down in the description below. We've partnered up with Fanatec, Moser, Camus, Logitech, Thrustmaster, and even Amazon to help you guys out. Of course, it costs you no extra money at all, but if you use those links, you help support the channel for free, and maybe you can start using the same sim racing gear that I use. So yeah, check the links down in the description below. Like I said, costs you nothing, but I get a small kickback if you decide to purchase anything, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Welcome to one of, if not the most iconic race circuit in Formula 2. A track with absolutely no room for error, a track that requires every bit of skill these young drivers can muster. We're getting ready for lights out here in Monte Carlo. The Circuit de Monaco is, for all practical purposes, pretty much unchanged since its 1929 introduction. It's strange to consider, but this 2.1 mile lap will take the drivers here around almost an entire country. 19 corners, but not that many opportunities for overtaking. Instead, this is a track that rewards technical skill. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Ollie Bearman lines up on pole position. Teo Porcher starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Novalak, Hauger, Enzo Fittipaldi, Cordial, Vachon, Doohan, Daruvalo, Brad Benavides, Vesti, Martins, Ayumu Awasa, Roy Nissani, Leclerc, Maloney, Correa, Jack Crawford, Hadjar, Stanek, Miney, and Ralph Boschon completes the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive, and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
Well, here we are then, trackside for the Monaco GP feature race. Quite possibly the one that they all want to win here. And tyre strategy today is about to get very interesting. I'm not convinced that starting on the soft tyres is going to be the way to go. But I'm also not convinced the game is going to allow me to do anything else. Oh, there we go. We might be able to add a stint then on the the soft compound tyre at the end of the GP. But yeah, my plan, honestly, I think is going to be start on the super softs, go to those soft tyres, and then go back to the super softs depending on what the tyre life is like here. You know, we really want to try and stretch that first stint as far as possible because we know those soft tyres have got a little bit more grip on them than the game is informing us. But yeah, going to be very exciting. Of course, starting from pole as well, we want to try and take that opportunity to lead safely into turn 1 there. But 5 red lights then on the grid here for the Monaco Grand Prix. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go there. And like I said, you know, the big goal off the start was certainly trying to hang on to that lead. Teo Porcher was a big threat on Saturday, and he certainly was a threat on Friday night as well. So that was absolutely critical at the start of this race. But like we said, the AI are going to be on very worn tyres here off the start of the GP. So the goal for us, of course, is just hang on to that lead and now try and break free on the opening lap. But yeah, as we mentioned, of course, you know, might open us up a bit of an opportunity if and when a safety car comes out this afternoon, because of course we could very easily just do one lap on the set of the soft compound tyres under safety car, and then go back out on a set of the supers to the end of the race. I don't believe we have the same rules as you get in real life FIA Formula 2, where you can't box inside the first 6 laps, I believe it is, of a feature race. Otherwise, well, everyone so far this season would have been disqualified in every single GP. But as we make our way through the end of Sector 2 there, of course, trying to make sure we keep it clean and tidy inside track limits as well. That's not going to do us any favours. Just a tiny knock on the wall will give us the tiniest bit of front wing damage there, but I'm sure TR120 and everyone else behind are going to be peeling into the pit lane at the end of lap 1. No, they're not. Enzo Fittipaldi, the first car in the pits, but we've already got a 4-second lead over Teo here. It's obviously not the same as what we saw last weekend, as Fred Vesti as well into the pit lane as well. You know, it's not that we've basically got a slammed up win here, because we are going to have to use those soft tyres later on in the GP. But yeah, if we can get this set, you know, 13, 14 laps, that could be a golden opportunity. But of course, we all know Monaco is the breeding ground for a safety car, so that can all very, very quickly change. I'm staggered ART decided not to bring Porcher in on the end of lap 1. We know how quick he is round here. We know that he was probably going to be our biggest threat to the victory as well. But Enzo Fittipaldi might now sense an opportunity. He's not actually that far away behind those backmarker cars. Richard for sure as well, actually, in P4. He might be one to watch out for as well here. We might actually end up in quite a big battle with him, because of course he didn't do the entire race yesterday. But no, he's still pit at the end of lap 2 there as well. We just apparently again nick the other side of the front wing. Hauger now, as the AI going through their pit stop cycle, will temporarily be up and into P2 for sure. No, it's because obviously Van Amersfoort's pit box is right at the end, isn't it? Newest team to FIA Formula 2, but Porcher then, as he heads back out of the pit lane. I think Fittipaldi's jumped him. Fittipaldi now up into P2 there. Amory Cordial up to P4 as well, and by the looks of it, Brad Benavides as well has gained a bit of time in all of this, but now the AI are going to be quicker than me throughout most of the afternoon. But yeah, I'm shocked for sure. Didn't try and stretch that stint just a little bit longer. Well, Fittipaldi has certainly made it work early on in that road in Carlin. 2 seconds clear of Teo Porcher. There's another bit of a gap between Cordial and Dennis Hauger. So yeah, a few of those drivers that box at the end of 1 have been given a bit of a performance boost here. Fittipaldi, new fastest lap of the day. They're already a second quicker than anything I've been able to do. So we are definitely still not quite up to speed. Just slowly trying to wind the car up in terms of pace. Easy, so incredibly easy to make a mistake here. As, well, the steering incredibly heavy on these cars. You can see trying to hold on to it with just one hand is certainly not the way to drive this thing. I tell you what, early on, we are really struggling to get the car in the groove. Fittipaldi is still taking time out of me. Of course, he should have a small advantage being on fresher, albeit only 1 lap, but they are fresher tyres. But I just don't feel like I'm able to extract the pace out of this set like we were yesterday on the softs. In fact, I know obviously we're slightly heavier on fuel, but we're running slower times than we did on the soft compound. I beg Formula 2 just brings the soft, medium and hard like we have in Formula 1 again, but yeah, this is really, really difficult early on, and even more so when every time you look at that gap, it's just come down by another half a second or so. Looks like, I believe, Clement Novalak, though, is creating quite a big gap between 5th and 6th, so we could certainly still slot in somewhere if needed, but yeah, not convinced we're going to be able to take these tyres that extended first stint like I'd hoped. Oh no, we've nicked the wall again. I think we might have to take a new front wing at our pit stop as well, so this is even more time that is potentially going to be lost here. But yeah, we didn't even struggle with damage yesterday, and we really do seem to be today. Tempted just to see how bad the wear is, so it might be worth just trying to box a little bit early off this first set of tyres, but whatever it is, we are not vibing with the super softs. I've still got that thing though in the corner of my mind of what if we get a safety car? You know, if we can get off or onto those soft tyres under a safety car or something like that, then we could gain a huge, huge advantage over the AI. Strategy at Monaco is always a little bit weird.
Don't worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
I'm worried about the tyre condition, Mark, but yeah, Monaco, really all the rules are backwards. And I feel like at the moment, we are just a little bit lost. We seem to have some laps that still feel fairly quick here, and then others that feel absolutely dreadful. But yeah, we are going to box now then onto that set of these softs to just try and take them for one lap around this venue. Of course, we've lost a good 5-6 seconds. But remember, that was about the gap we pulled out at the start of the GP. As we look at that understeer up through Massenet, barely able to keep it out the wall at the top of the hill. Oh, big slide as we make our way through the swimming pool. We'll take a bit more damage.
Strategy after that. I've got some options for you, so go and check your MFD.
Yeah, we've already got it set up, ready to go though. Wing is getting changed as we head into the pit lane. Look how tight that is on the entry, in 14 seconds it reckons it's going to take. This is an absolute disaster here. Of course, you've got to get the same drivers doing the front tyres to also pop the new wing on. So we are going to lose bags of time here under the pit stop. 13.8. As long as we come out ahead of those other cars, Clement Novalak and co. It's not the end of the world, as you can see. Yeah, these tyres weren't quite destroyed, but certainly didn't have much left on them. We're not going to be a million miles away from our front runners still. But we've got to try and keep this new wing on the car clean and tidy. I did not realise it cost you that much time, as we have now re-emerged about 6 seconds behind Enzo Fittipaldi. Well, we are absolutely throwing these tyres around the venue, but I'm sure, of course, we're going to see a few of our front runners into the pit lane at the end of this lap, so we are still trying to chase down time. I'm tempted just to stay out one more. As Fittipaldi in, he might actually re-emerge in some slower traffic, so if we can avoid getting caught out behind the slower cars, that could be really, really pivotal by the end of the race there, as Pourchaire will stay out as well. So Cordial, but what I'm hoping, of course, yeah, is Novalak in, is that Fittipaldi will re-emerge in some slower cars. He will, but I don't think he's going to get affected by them, so that's a bit of a nightmare for us. Fittipaldi's come out in clear air, and yeah, we are in big trouble. I mean, so though Pourchaire and Hauger both starting to struggle on their set of tyres. So it's been nice to actually feel like the gap's coming down to the other cars around me, albeit even if it is just for one lap. But we've got a box now though, because otherwise Vershaw and Doohan, I think, are going to get in the way. Make sure we don't get done for pit lane speeding. I think it's almost impossible to try and get the delta right on pit lane entry, but there we go. There goes Pourchaire. I think Hauger's going as well. Well, I don't know how we've got away with that, but Richard Vershaw there heading into the pit lane. Somehow we have jumped our way into the middle of him. Not quite sure that's legal, but anyway, through out of the pit lane exit we go then. Everyone in for their final stops, and now we know the damage that we've got to try and recover. About 8 or 9 seconds, probably slightly more than that actually, to our leader. It's got to be, yeah, be close to 10 seconds to Fittipaldi, but we've got to put this first super soft stint behind me. We've got to bring our A game here if we want to win the Monaco GP. Purple through the middle sector on our first lap out on this fresh set. Oh no, again we've just nudged the wall. Don't think it'll cost us too much at all. Maybe just a little bit of aero damage, but we are flying. Will that continue to make the difference? We've got to be quick. We've got to start picking up damage. Yeah, it's very, very odd, the fact I felt so confident on those soft tyres yesterday. You know, we were really rocking up to the back of cars. Pourchaire there sets a 22.5 as we almost slap the wall again. We're going to set a 22.2, so we are the quickest car on the track. But will it be enough? Honestly, it's starting to feel like for the first time in this feature race that we are now dancing that Monaco dance with the circuit around us. Another 22.4, so still running quicker than anyone else was able to. And able to keep the pace up. 6 laps to go, though. Yeah, Novalak, Brad Benavides miles behind. They really aren't going to be much of a threat at all unless something disastrous happens towards the end, but staggered still that we haven't had a safety car. I really thought that could have big ramifications today, but we've got to close up to Hauger. We need to try and get past the Norwegian. Oh, no. Slap the wall. It's all over. It's all over. Just a handful of laps to go there. And I don't think now we'll really be able to do anything against Dennis Hauger. That being said, he's still pretty slow through these last couple of corners. But I don't see a way now in which... Oh, I mean, look at that for some understeer through the final corner. I think we're going to have to settle for P5 here. What a heartbreaking way to end this GP. And early on, it looked like another win could have been on the table. Oh, one lap to go, and I've gone and damaged the wing even more. I mean, we've basically just been ragging the thing around, still trying to keep up with Hauger as best as possible, but staggered at the gap that has opened up to Novalak and Brad Benavidez behind us. But yeah, of course, with the fastest lap bonus point as well, which hopefully we will hang on to, it's going to be 11 points for us, but still 6 for Brad Benavidez. So championship lead is not going to be ours by the end of this race. Oh, we're really getting scrappy now. Come on, don't lose it on the final lap of the race. But yeah, I just think, you know, that front wing damage in the first stint, it made all the difference today. We were just running it a bit too close to the walls. Felt like on a couple of occasions the car probably got a bit more damage than we would expect to see. You know, really just a couple of very, very light knocks gave us damage. When, of course, yesterday we had that incident, I believe it might have been with Dennis Hauger again, wasn't it? That fortunately, sorry, we did get away from that situation. But I tell you what, Enzo Fittipaldi, he and Rodin Carlin today have played a blinder when it comes to the strategy. It looked like it should have been a battle between myself and Teo Pourchaire all weekend long. But through the final couple of corners, the young Brazilian driver, of course, I'm sure, will have watched back footage of one of his heroes, Ayrton Senna, winning over and over and over again here on the Monaco streets. But through the final corners, Enzo Fittipaldi is going to be back on top here in FIA Formula 2. Pourchaire will follow him closely home ahead of Cordial Hauger, and we will come home for P5.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Brilliant stuff from Carlin today. What a superb victory. Davide, what do you think made the difference here?
It was down to one thing: consistent pace over everyone else out there on the track. We could spend a great deal of time talking about race and tire strategy, what else occurred on the track, but at the end of the day, the difference here was down to simply being faster on track than everyone else. Amazing skill on show.
As we can see, it's time for the podium, and I can see the Carlin team underneath our commentary box going crazy as their driver walks out. It was a great win, and it means a great deal to this team. And now, let's take a look at the driver's standings. It was not the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
I'll probably go for Enzo Fittipaldi. The team did a good job with the strategy to put him in the pack, and he was good enough to take the opportunities.
And here's how things are shaping up in the team's championship. We saw a dip in form from the championship leaders today. Their lead has taken a significant blow. That's the end of today's race. Thank you for joining us, and I'm sure you'll agree it was a great race and sets us up nicely for the next instalment in a few weeks' time. Take care. From Davide and I, it's goodbye.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Monaco GP weekend there. And I'll be honest, a little bit gutted to only take 2 points out of Brad Benavidez. We really hoped today could be the day we get an all-important win there. But P5, when all is said and done, we do pick up that bonus point, but it was not good enough there. It was Novalak, Benavides, Martans, Vachon, and Daruvula who rounded out our top 10. So yeah, Brad, that young American, really did make some good progress throughout the race today there. But Fittipaldi from 5th to 1st, I don't think anyone really had their eyes on him heading into the GP there. But it does mean championship-wise, the gap of the top 3 points, but Enzo Fittipaldi knocking on the door right behind us there. 4 points off the title lead. 4 drivers covered by just 11 points as we get towards the halfway stage of the season there. And you can see a 3-way tie between Novalak, Hauger and Martans for P5 as well in the championship. Porcher and Daruvula tied as well on 58 points. There are so many battles going on up and down the roster at this stage of the season, but still just Arthur Leclerc, Ralph Boschung and Roman Stanek yet to get points on the board. It does mean constructors-wise as well. Look at that, MP and ART tied at the top. Virtuosi just 6 points clear of ourselves there, but still, it's a 6-way scrap for the Constructors' Championship as well at this stage. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very, very soon when Formula 2 even, I should say, returns. I believe we'll be back next weekend out in Barcelona. A massive thank you to all of my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters for their continued donations to help my work. These things go much further than I think a lot of you ever realise and allow me to continue making content full-time here on YouTube. So if you want to support me from as little as £1 a month and be featured on all of these end clips, either click the join button next to the subscribe or head over to my Patreon. There's a link down in the description.